Hi everyone, this is Rhonda Orndorff. Today I'm going to be talking to you about changes in services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is in partial fulfillment for Nursing 748. So the current issue that I chose to look into was an issue that was brought up in 2014 by the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid Services, who released a rule stating there needs to be a separation of case management from the direct services provision of home and community-based services of Medicaid. Home and community-based services include things such as day programs, as you see up in the right-hand corner, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, assistance with jobs, interviewing, anything to that aspect. And then in-home services. So that's what that means. So then in 2017, the Colorado General Assembly passed House Bill 17-1343, defining conflict-free case management as case management services and home and community-based services needing to be separated and not within the same agency. Now, why do I bring this up? And why is it important? So in Pueblo, we have Colorado Blue Sky Enterprises, who actually provides these services, and this bill will impact Colorado Blue Skies directly and their clients directly. And I'll get into a little bit more about Colorado Blue Sky. So in November through December of 2018, a goal of the Community Impact Survey was sent out to to all of the counties in Colorado. 19 counties in Colorado responded, and these were the key stakeholders who responded. And so that would mean individuals who receive services, guardians, parents. Those are the main ones that would be within this key stakeholder group. There was another survey done for the providers, such as the case management services, people like that. But of this group, I wanted to put up there to show you kind of, the lack of responses, and I don't understand why. But this indicates that not everybody partook in this survey. And I'll show you some of the responses a little later in the presentation. But for this bill, it's going to be fully implemented in 2022, which means that whoever is utilizing both services through the same agency will need to figure out changes and will need to decide what they want to do. So Colorado Blue Sky Enterprises is located in Pueblo. It is one of 20 community-centered boards in Colorado. They serve about 1,000 individuals, or actually over 1,000 individuals in Pueblo County. These individuals are from birth to 90-year-olds. They have services specific to different age groups. You first come into the program when you're born, and you continue through until you are of school age, and then the school system then takes you over and helps provide services. And then once you graduate from high school, or once you finish school, then you are eligible to come back into Colorado Blue Sky to continue services then through the rest of your life. So going back to the House bill, so of the individuals within Colorado Blue Skies Enterprises, 109 of them will be directly impacted by this change. And so what that means is that they will either need to change their case manager and continue services, meaning everything I stated before. So if they were to continue these services and change their case management, they would need to find case management through Colorado Springs or in Trinidad. Now, if they did the other way, they kept case management, they would have to find different services, which is possible in Pueblo County. There's like the Colorado Resource Center and other entities in Pueblo that can be helpful for community-based services. So going through the risks and the benefits of this change, first, the risks associated with it. One, going back to those 109 individuals that are directly impacted, we're going to be disrupting their services. Some of the time, they've been in these services for many, many, many years. On a personal level, my brother has been in the same job, if you will, for 15 plus years, something like that. So that's something that, these individuals, to disrupt their life, their flow, that'll be definitely difficult for them. And the other thing you got to think about is the relationships that they've gained through these services, through the case management services. We're going to be changing those as well. And so I think that's going to be difficult for some of these individuals. So I'm a little cautious and nervous about that. It also, I didn't put it on here, but it also it takes away the freedom for these individuals to choose what they want to do. They are now forced to choose one or the other, which is just a difficult process to choose what they want to continue with when they've established these relationships over a course of years. So then going to the benefits of this. So obviously we're decreasing the conflict of interest here. That's obviously noted in the bill name. Improve case management services. So going to this, there was an audit in 2017, and what they found was there was several issues with these agencies that provided both services. 15 of the 19 agencies did not monitor the services that were being utilized by the individuals. 10 of the 19 lacked evidence of any kind of case management services. And then 14 of the 19 did not have a complete service plan, and that is something that we would compare to as like a plan of care or like a SOAP note. And then the Medicaid misbilling. I didn't want to put fraud up there because I think that's a very strong word for this, but again, in that 2017 audit, $790,000 was billed by the community-based council to the state that did not follow any federal or state requirements that allowed them to bill whatever they billed for. 111 clients did not receive required face-to-face case management services in greater than 6 months, and the requirement is every 3 months. The other thing too to think about is, even though this is taking away the individual's right to or ability to make a impactful decision or a choice, I guess, if you will, I think that this bill will actually provide more benefits of service. So what I just talked about, I'm hoping that that stuff will go away slightly, if not completely. And hopefully it might open the door to new services and new collaborations. So it's not all bad from my point of view. So there's key stakeholders here. Obviously, individuals receiving care, family members, guardians, advocates, community-centered boards, case management agencies, single entry points, and direct service providers. So most of those are pretty obvious because I've already talked about them. Going to the case management agencies, the one thing I wanted to point out is with this new bill, they're going to lose, Colorado Blue Skies alone is going to be losing several case management positions because it'll have to be, there won't be a need for them. Single entry points. So that I put on here because what I mean by that is that now we don't have a single entry point for these individuals. They will now have They will not have one person helping direct their care. They are now going to have this person working on this entity, this person working on that entity, so on and so forth. So they're going to have multiple points of entry, and they're not going to have a direct line and service manager or service person to help them through all the management and the agencies. And the direct service providers. So I guess for me, this also entails providers, nurse practitioners, to be specific. And so, it'll be later on in my slide, but how does this affect the APRN? So we'll get into that in a little bit. So the opposition. Who are the people that don't want this to happen? From that survey that I originally told you about on the first couple of slides, these were the narrative responses from the survey from the key stakeholders. This is and can be very confusing for family members and clients. I have no idea what to expect and how this will affect my son's services. I feel strongly this is a mistake and removes choice from us. Now, this is all things that I've kind of touched base on throughout the presentation. But this really shows that there's a lot of fear and inadequate communication as to what the change is going to entail. So this obviously indicates that there's a need for education in all realms of this House bill and how it's going to affect individuals and family members. Currently, I will say that Colorado Blue Sky is on the fence with it. They are happy that these individuals will have more of a choice and will have conflict-free case management. But they're also on the side of keeping what they have had for many years due to the fact that how it benefits the patient, or it benefits the individual with continuity of care, relationships, and just comfortableness, I guess. So now going into the APRN role. So I think the first three, I guess, roundabout say about the same thing, but you want to support with identifying needs for service. So you need to see these individuals in clinic. You need to identify what the patient needs, what the gaps in service are, and how to address them. So you just need to use your judgment as to how to provide these services to the patient. And we can, as MPs, provide these services, and they will be billed through Medicaid, the same as Colorado Blue Sky can bill Medicaid. It's the same type of process, so it really works fundamentally the same way that we can provide these services, the same as Colorado Blue Sky, but we just got to know where these gaps in services are, so that we can help these individuals be stronger and more independent. So the other thing is obviously collaboration. We all need to collaborate with all key stakeholders in any aspect of care, but truly this is significantly important for this demographic, as they are very vulnerable, and a lot of time they lack a voice, and so we have to advocate with them to help get the best services for them. So call for action. So I met with Mike Atlas Acuna, who is the CEO of Colorado Blue Sky, and I have established becoming a volunteer with them, and I've asked to be on the board or the Disability Council, and then also on the board itself. Now that's something that I'll eventually work up to, but I think that's important for me to move forward and to help with these policy changes and issues that come up, because I feel like I have a personal understanding and a professional understanding of what these individuals need. And so that goes into the APRN role, volunteering again, and then advocate. I can't speak enough to advocating for these patients. So here are my references, and I'm running out of time, so I hope you enjoyed and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.